It's a Friday. Good morning and welcome to the AM News. My name is Paa Kwesi Schandorf. Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo, is asking the police to investigate circumstances leading to recent attacks on Chief of Dompim in the Western region. Nana Nyonwa Penyin, claimant to the stool of Dompim Pepasi, says his attack is linked to his recent outburst against political appointees complicit in illegal mining. The chief claimed that the Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister George Mirikuduka operated one of the illegal mining firms. Minister Samuel Abujinapo wants the police to ascertain the claims by the traditional ruler.
I think that the matters to do with the Dompim Pepesa chief and the gory pictures we've all seen, they should be investigated. The police have to investigate it. It's as simple as that. In a democratic world, when these things happen, just as it is for all other crimes, the police has to investigate them and bring out the facts and the evidence, and then we'll deal with that. That's the way I see it, because even from where I sit, I've heard conflicting reports. Some say it was as a result of chieftaincy dispute. Some also seem to make the suggestion you've made. Some even say that it was a motor accident, So you have all kinds of claims. But when these things happen, the right thing to do is to investigate. So let's hold on for the police to conclude with their investigations. Yeah. Yes, the deputy minister, that is a straightforward matter. The rule of this business is evidence, because Awuni, I hope you agree with me that here I am with this microphone speaking live on national TV. I could just make a very damning allegation against you that you are this and that and that. It cannot in itself, without more, hold. And I think we should all be interested in that. Unfortunately, political people, those of us who venture into public life and venture into policy positions, we are so vulnerable and we get punched all the time and we become helpless, because any allegation against a politician, because of the heightened suspicion, and sometimes, I should say rightly, the heightened suspicion and the cynicism of associated with politicians, when allegations are made, it's almost like wildfire. Oh, yeah, it must be true. But in this business, the fundamental test is evidence. And from what I heard, I just heard an allegation. I was even looking out for example, an additional statement which will say concession A, concession B, operation A, operation C. Those are operations being run by the deputy minister. Then with that, you are even getting somewhere to begin to ask questions. But to just say that Abujinapo is involved in Galamsey, Odamo, that for me is quite problematic, of course.
That was the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Now, the fate of 17 political parties hangs in the balance as the Electoral Commission of Ghana is giving them 1 week to justify their inclusion. These political parties, according to the latest audit by the Commission, have no regional and national presence contrary to the requirement of law. The cohort has up to next Thursday, October 20, 2022, to show proof why their registrations should not be cancelled under the Political Parties Act of 2000, Act 574. Deputy Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Eric Bosman, has been explaining reasons accounting for this audit by the Electoral Commission.
So far, the exercise has been concluded. But when you conclude such a major exercise, you need to have a report for the commissioners to look at it and come up with certain conclusions. Indeed, we had a team that went around the whole country, and at the national office, some of us even took part. The chairperson, myself, the deputy chairman of operation, we even went to some of the offices of the political parties. And the commission is currently looking at the report from the field. And based on the outcome of that particular exercise, the commission will have to make a determination. When you look at the law clearly states that political parties are supposed to meet certain requirements. For example, when you look at the district level, they are supposed to operate in 2/3 of the districts, and we expect that they will have regional, national offices. So as an institution which is supposed to ensure that the political parties conform according to the rules of our country and according to the democratic ethos, we are compelled to make sure that the right things are done. So I believe that the commission will look at the report critically and will make the findings available to Ghanaians. And when we come to the realization that clearly, based on the law, some parties are not meeting the requirements to exist as political parties, we may end up removing them from the list of political parties.
I'm sure that you on that trip yourself, so you have some first-hand information as to some of the observations that you've made personally on that tour, assessing the political parties. What are some of the worrying trends that you've identified with the interactions with some of these political parties? No,
clearly, Ghana doesn't have a state funding policy of political parties. And this is a country, when you look at the constitution, our constitution encourages multi-party democracy. And any constitution that encourages multi-party democracy, what it actually means is that you believe in the formation of several political parties. So the EC is very, very careful trying to balance. Because if you really want to apply the rule to the letter, maybe we may end up having only one or two political parties
about going to
in Ghana.
The duopoly between the NDC and the NPP.
So as an institution, we are also very mindful of what the Constitution requires of us. Constitution encourages multi-party democracy, plurality in our politics. So we must be very careful in having a balance in our system. However, it doesn't also mean that parties will just be existing in names. So that when you have an IPAC, they will just come, but you go to the district or the constituency level, they are not there. So at the highest level of the commission, we are looking at all this so that we'll come up with a clear framework which will say that because these parties don't meet criterion A or the following criteria, we are going to crack the whip and maybe give them some time to put their houses in.
Vice President Dr. Mamudu Bawumia has admonished the Upper West Regional and Municipal Security Councils to beef up security in the Wa municipality and its environs. He says the municipality has hogged headlines for the wrong reasons and all efforts must be made to ensure the situation doesn't reoccur. He added that government will ensure that peace and hospitality enjoyed by the peoples are restored. Correspondent Rafik Salam reports from Wa.
The key nugget in Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's speech at the climax of the Waladumba Festival was on the recent suspected ritual killings in the Wa municipality. The municipality recorded 10 suspected murders in 8 months. 7 of the suspected murders were private security men. The incident caught the eye of security chiefs in the country, necessitating a visit to the region by Interior Minister Ambrose Derry and Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia noted that, but for the recent murders, violence and mob actions, the region was relatively peaceful, which he commended the people for their sense of patriotism.
In recent times, the name of the Wa municipality has been in the limelight for the wrong reasons. The region has recorded numerous cases of murders, violence and mob actions among others. This worrying trend has raised several concerns among many residents and non-residents alike. I must say that for us to make quick wins on the security situation in the municipality and the region as a whole, the chieftaincy institution must play a pivotal role in that regard. I see the chieftaincy institution as a critical stakeholder in the governance architecture of the country. Let me use this opportunity to admonish the Regional Security Council and the Municipal Security Council to be on alert and beef up security in the municipality and its environs.
He averred that government is keen in ensuring that peace and hospitality, which has always been enjoyed by the people of the Upper West region, is restored, thereby bridging the gap between rural and urban dwellers through sustainable facilities in these areas.
I will therefore implore all present here today to show more commitment and diligence in our quest to restoring peace and improve the lives of our people. Now, Chairman, development brings enhanced standards of living and happiness is what every Ghanaian desires. Development, and particularly economic development, that brings hope for the future and underpins peaceful societies. It is no coincidence, then, that the most developed countries are the most peaceful. This implies that for us to maintain the peace and unity of our country, we must quicken the pace of growth. But I must emphasize that it has to be equitable growth.
The Vice President concluded urging chiefs in the country to work with security agencies to ward off suspected terrorists from the country.
The goals, motives, and justification for violence have changed as well, and the causes and drivers of violent extremism are diverse. It is in the light of this that the role of the traditional authorities is paramount. Involving the traditional authorities can be particularly effective and increase the likelihood of strategies for combating these acts of terrorism to generate successful outcomes. Traditional authorities can play an influential role as mediators, helping communities and government bodies to work together to address an array of public safety concerns.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam.
Meanwhile, for the 15th time in as many years as the Wala overlord Wana Hussein Seidu Pelpo the fourth has jumped over a cow to decide his fate. Rafik Salam report was at the climax of the Wala Dumba Festival and now reports.
A day of reckoning for the Wala overlord at the forecourt of his 104-year-old palace, filled with maze of people from all walks of life, including the country's vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Wana Hussein Seidu Pelpo the fourth is expected to either walk or jump over this white cow, tied and held to the ground. He is supposed to walk or jump over without any part of his body or gown touching the cow. It is the practice since the era of the first chief of the Wala Kingdom, Nasole 400 years ago.
It is a point where close associates and relatives of His Majesty would be feeling that how is it going to end, knowing the implications of the two ends of the pole, success and otherwise, but God forbid anything short of a successful jumping. And then we also trust that the prayers that have always been said for His Majesty and His kingdom by the clerics, the traditional clerics, the Lemayiri stock, and many others, have always been answered by the Almighty Allah.
Majority of the royals from all sides, including the landlords, the imams, the Yirinamine. In fact, the people that form the Wala state, they are in a pensive move, praying for a successful outcome of the Wana to have a successful jump over the cow. That's why in this period, right at the Wana's palace, it's not time for merrymaking. It's a period of somber reflection. They are in pensive mood.
For members of his immediate family, especially his first daughter, Barkisu Fusini Pelpo, who learns the rudiments of the tradition and culture from her father, a day like this will not have been on the calendar. As a result, Barkisu has not gotten the heart to be among the crowd to see through the cliffhanger. Outside the palace, there is no difference. There is apprehension.
And you can see the cow lying down here, and the Wana himself, alongside the family and his friends, even including me, we are not all happy now because this is a test case. If he fails, you will see us all mourning, which means that all is not well for the state. And if he's successful, you will see jubilations and other things, and the day will be a great day for us. So we are all praying for him.
To demonstrate his strength and ability to continue to rule the people of Wa, and indeed the Wa state, made up of about 7 paramountcies. So it is a time we all are praying for him, looking up to God and hoping that he'll be able to do what his ancestors have done before.
The Wala overlord appeared at the forecourt wearing a talismanic smock that used to be worn by his grandfather Napilpo III during challenging periods 100 years ago. He was sandwiched by representatives from the 12 recognized sects that formed the Wala state to go around the cow. The imams led the way with recitation of some verses of the Holy Quran, praying for a successful jump. Led the way with recitation of some verses of the Holy Quran, praying for a successful jump. It was tense and emotional. Few times the movement slowed, and the Wana secretly peeped at the helpless cow. The crowd went dead, following the drumming, signifying the completion of the 7th round, and the occupant of the Wana's palace had a 15th successful jump over the cow, extending his reign. The crowd went agog and frenzied. He retired to his palace, returned, dressed in a blue-white embroidered gown, known in local parlance as Bromwa, with his medallion dangling on his neck with smiles. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Away from that, the Ghana Health Service is asking parents and guardians to control the screen time of their wards. Children can contract myopia, which is nearsightedness as a result of long screen time. That's the information from the director of the eye care unit of the Ghana Health Service as it marked World Sight Day in Accra.
World Sight Day is celebrated annually to raise awareness on blindness and vision impairment as public health issues and to influence all stakeholders to participate and designate funds to help prevent any activity of blindness. This year, Love Your Eyes was the theme used so each individual can be aware of their own eye health and be able to help others. Head of Eye Care Unit at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Honameto Afake, has advised parents and guardians to limit the screen time they give their ward.
Limit them. There must be a way of controlling their activity at home. That's what we advise. There must be a way of limiting their activity, because if you keep them all the time in the house, just close, it's a factor that can even contribute, to nearsightedness, okay, and myopia, where they get so close because they are used to that. But you must get them to go outside, play. In the past, children are out and play, and so we don't have much problem. But these days, as we have said, because of the new age we are in, they are with the screen and indoors, and it's affecting their eyes. So some of them eventually will have to be using glasses.
Also speaking, Mr. Faka mentioned that individuals who spend long hours using screens must take a break after every 20 minutes to rest the eye.
When on the computer, the screen, you can have this eye strain as you continue spend a lot of time on the screen and don't try to look at the distance. That's why it's advised that after some time, about 20 minutes of screen time, try and look at in the distance at a distance of about 20 feet for about 20 seconds to be able to relax the eye, because the muscles are are involved. So you're able to relax the eye, and you'll be able to have see clear. You don't have those issues of pain around the eyes.
Mercia Dumwe's report read to you.
Founder of Breast Care International, Dr. Beatrice Biafia Dai, has debunked rumors that sacking and massaging of the breast is an antidote to breast cancer. She made the statement at breast cancer educational and clinical screening at Accra College of Education.
The breast cancer educational and clinical screening by Breast Care International at the Accra College of Education was on the theme, Breast Cancer Won't Rest, So Why Should We? Addressing the gathering, the founder of Breast Care International, Dr. Beatrice Wiafiadai, stated that sucking and massaging breast by men doesn't prevent one from getting breast cancer. She added that the disease is a serious one and must not be trivialized with such a notion on social media.
The fact that one's breast is being sucked or massaged doesn't mean that she cannot have breast cancer. And it will also not remove the cancer from the breast, as some people say. It's like joking about it. This is a serious disease. Sucking of the breast and massaging it will not prevent a woman from getting breast cancer.
Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer of Provident Insurance, Michael Justice Eshen, explained the rationale for partnering with Breast Care International for such an outreach.
Our motive for supporting this program is basically to help create awareness of breast cancer. We insure people's properties. These people include women and men as well. As we are told, breast cancer is not only a women's disease.
Some survivors and students also spoke to the news team.
To stop stigmatizing breast cancer patients and always acknowledge them and give them good treatment.
I was taking my bath and I said, let me just check myself for checking sake. Not that I was thinking of anything negative. And as I was taking my bath, I felt something like a lump on the left side of my breast. You know that time you don't want to cry, but the tears just kept gushing out because my mind started telling me you are dying. It's cancer. Remember your mother died. You will die. You will leave your children and all that. So because my children were here in Ghana, I said, no, let me come to Ghana and begin the procedures because I saw what my mom went through then.
Mercy Idumo's report read to you.
That's all for the news. For more, log on to www.myjoyonline.com. My name is Paa Kwesi Schandorf. Do have a pleasant weekend.